A project connecting co-production, quality improvement and quality of care. Introduction to our project. Some NHS organisations involve people using services in their improvement work. Improvement work is about improving people's experience of care and improving people's quality of care. Our project looked closely at how these NHS organisations involve people using services in this work. This video explains how these NHS organisations line up quality of care work, quality of experience work and co-production. We are the NHS England Experience of Care team. We want to share our learning. We worked with lots of different people in this project. We worked with people using services. We co-produce NHS staff, the Health Foundation, the King's Fund, co-production Collective University College London. We visited 6 NHS organisations and asked a lot of questions about how they work in co-production. The organisations are East London NHS Foundation Trust, Humber Teaching NHS Foundation Trust, North East London Clinical Commissioning Group, South Eastern Health and Social Care Trust, Belfast, South London and Maudsley NHS Foundation Trust, Western Sussex Hospitals NHS Foundation Trust. These organisations cover hospitals, community health, mental health and services like GP practices. Co-production. Although NHS organisations have already involved people in improving care, co-production is very, very different from what we have done before. Co-production happens when everyone involved in the system works together and everyone recognises each other as being equally valuable. This means we can learn from everyone's experiences too, connect with many different people and ideas, include people from across all communities, be certain about what matters the most to people when we are improving things, so that when we make changes they will last. We also pay the people using services and family carers who co-produce the improvement work. When done well, co-production recognises people using services have strengths and networks that reach beyond the labels we give them, builds balanced relationships where everyone has expertise, starts from what matters most to people who use healthcare services, creates really good partnerships from the very first conversation, shares who holds power and makes the decisions, means the NHS organisations involved step back while the communities involved step forward. Reports that already exist. At the start of the project, we looked for reports that already exist. These reports were about how quality improvement, experience of care, and co-production can better connect. We found 64 reports from across the world. Here are some recommendations from what we found out. Pay attention to improving people's experience of care. Don't only focus on treatment. All leaders need to co-produce. Leaders need to build co-production learning into planning and do it quickly. Leaders need to follow up recommendations from co-production. They need to allocate the time and the help needed to put them into practice. Be excited about the way people are passionate to work in co-production. Develop individual, family, carer and staff confidence to work together. New ways of working are not easy. Co-production welcomes challenges and works best when people support each other. Bring the right people together at the right time. Do this early and do it honestly. Make sure everyone has a say in shaping the improvement work. Communicate openly and make everyone's roles formal. Clearly define roles and responsibilities. Build a co-production community rather than a team with layers of importance and someone sitting at the top. Make it easy for people to have their say and have their input respected. Think about having a co-production expert to help make sure everyone has their say. Pay attention to everyone in the group. Everyone in the co-production group is responsible for making the group's findings happen in practice. Make sure everyone in the group is supported to have the confidence to do this. Collecting information tells us about patterns across the system, but people telling us stories about their experiences reveals information that collecting data can't tell us about. Our visits to 6 NHS organisations. How did the 6 NHS organisations connect co-production and quality improvement? Some did this well, some did okay, some had made a start, some did not do well. So what were the differences? Organisations who did not do well. These NHS organisations focused on being efficient. Co-production as a way of working wasn't in people's minds, so there was no co-production. Organisations who had made a start. These NHS organisations had quality improvement and co-production, but they were happening in separate places and they were not connected. Organisations who were doing okay. These NHS organisations had quality improvement and co-production. They were happening together in some places, but they were not connected across the system. Some organisations were doing well. These NHS organisations had quality improvement and co-production. They were happening together and connected across the system. Co-production as a way of working doesn't need to happen one bit at a time. Our visits showed us that connecting quality improvement to co-production can happen from the start. Co-producing improvement involves always thinking about co-production as the preferred way of working, putting what matters to people at the heart of improvement work. Sharing power equally between staff who have skills and knowledge and people who have lived experience of care. We learnt that bringing together quality improvement and co-production needs us to have strong leadership. We start from what matters to people. Co-production should be at the heart of quality improvement. Develop people's energy and confidence to work together. The big system, organisations and communities are lined up together. The COVID pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has taught us powerful lessons about co-production. We have seen how things can be done differently during the pandemic. We don't want to lose what we have learnt. We suggest that there are 4 ingredients for change. Co-production from the start. Make reducing inequalities a priority. Appoint leaders for innovation. Welcoming new ideas. Your next actions. Could you now join a conversation about how to co-produce improvement in your workplace? As an individual, as a leader, as a system. For further information and support, please email england.eccoproduction@nhs.net. A co-production group worked together to make this easy read video. This video was made by Thinklusive for NHS England.